Hey, it's Francis. Let's make some more music using free browser-based software. Today, it's going to be Soundtrap. Alright, once you make your account on Soundtrap, we're going to click Enter Studio and choose Music. The next thing we can do is, after that, we're going to choose our starting point. And Soundtrap, unlike BandLab, has a lot of features that you're going to have to pay for. And we're not going to use any of those today. So let's start by playing the synth and choosing a sound. You can see that a lot of these are only available in the premium version. So if you wanted to, you could start a trial and use some of these for free temporarily. But I recommend playing around with it first just to make sure you like the interface. Since I want to make a dark ambient type track, I'm going to start at the keyboard and I'm going to look at the pianos. I've always thought it would be cool to do a dark ambient song with a Rhodes piano. This is a sort of old school electric piano. So that'll be the starting point for today. Sounds like this. Might be really cool with some reverb. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, next up, to create a new MIDI sequence, we're going to click up here on the track and extend it a little bit. I like using 4-bar loops. On Soundtrap, we can hold Control and use our scroll wheel to zoom in and out. That's what I'm doing. Otherwise, you would want to use these zoom buttons over here. Come up with a quick sequence. Okay, and let's hear that so far. Wonderful. It's a bit fast for me. Let's come down here and adjust our tempo. We're going to choose 100 for the song. And hear it again. I like that a lot more. And I want these notes to be longer. So I'll highlight them all and drag them to their full value. And listen again. Sounds pretty good to me. The second part of the phrase, I want to be quite similar to the first part. So we're going to select them all and hold Alt and click and drag them, which is going to copy them. We do want to change a few notes though. Okay. And I think that I'm happy with this. Sounds pretty cool to me. The next step here is to add another musical part. In this case, I think I want to do it on the same instrument. So we're going to draw the notes in on the same sequence. This will be like playing more than one key at a time on your piano. These notes I want to last a little bit longer. Okay, and sometimes we can get away with having the same thing twice in a row. I think this one won't work twice in a row, but we'll do that same thing of highlighting the notes, holding Alt, and clicking and dragging them right. I think that would work with Option on a Mac, but I've actually never used Soundtrap on a Mac, so I couldn't tell you. Okay, that's delightful. And I'm going to hold Alt and scroll here to make this track bigger, and Control and scroll to zoom out. I want to loop this around at least once and add a new track to go with this. We're going to try the drums and beats section, and let's preview a few of these. Again, we're only previewing the free ones for now. That one's really cool. My favorites are Muffled and this Foley kit. And I think for the sake of the track that we're doing right now as a dark ambient track, I think the Foley kit will be the most appropriate. Sort of a standard pattern here. I'm not sure what this will sound like considering that these instruments aren't actually a kick, snare, and hi-hat, but let's take a listen to it real quick. It's a bit faster than I want. I think I want essentially this but half time. So when we make something half time, we essentially have to make the pattern twice as long. So essentially we're separating this pattern into groups of 4, and instead of that we separate it into groups of 8. So essentially like this one here ends up here because it's the same ratio. So the snare ends up here instead of here, and the hats end up half as frequently. These end up being, okay. These end up being here. Oops. Now let's listen to that. I think that works. Let's try looping this. We're also hearing the metronome now, so we'll turn that off. This is annoying, but I'll click one. Oh, I'm not going to answer that. Okay, now this pattern here kind of wants some reverb, in my opinion. I also want this to have a bit of a filter to it. And a bit less volume. Okay, that works for me. This piano could use an effect as well, I think. This piano could use an effect as well, I think. Not hearing anything from that. So we'll try a different one. Okay. Cool, that's sounding good to me. I think this track could use a bass of some kind, so we'll try adding something. Let's just choose, let's see here, bass synth. I like this a lot right off the bat. One of my rules for writing and creative workflow is that if something sounds good, play with it for a little bit, even if it's not quite what you're looking for. If it seems like it might work, it probably does. And if it's not what you were looking for, now you have 2 ideas instead of 1. It ends up being a matter of how you budget your time at that point. And I'm not good at budgeting my time, so I don't worry about that. Okay. Our baseline here should probably follow the baseline that we implied with our roads track. So as a starting point, we'll just copy these. And we can find that in a right-click menu or Control-C like in most other programs. Let's throw it in here and try Control-V. And let's just see what happens here. It's likely that this is going to be like at the wrong octave. Well, it's not. It sounds great. Loop it. At this point, we've sort of got our classic 8-bar loop, and this is the point at which a lot of people stop. It's really easy to make something like this, decide that it's about as done as it's going to be, and never come back to it. So let's see if we can get past that. And I like to drag my 8-bar loop to the right a little bit, so I have space for an intro. In this case, I think I'm just going to drag it all the way over here. This far, starting on bar 5. That'll give us a little bit more space for an intro. This is the looped selection, by the way, so I'm clicking on that to bypass it. And that is going to let me play the song back without looping that one portion. So the next thing I want to do here is to create some type of an intro. And I think to do that, I want just the piano by itself. And let's just hear what that sounds like, see if we like it. I think that works, just the piano by itself. Let's keep it simple and move on from there. So I'm thinking that as soon as this is played for one loop, I want it to be a little bit more interesting. So we are going to try adding another instrument. In this case, I'm thinking some type of a flute or a string instrument would be nice. Let's just see what these sounds like. Sounds pretty good. If it's not broken, don't fix it, right? Let's go ahead and try a note. I'm clicking a random note right now. I haven't thought about which one I want, and it's good to just see if it's going to be good. It's not the one that I would have picked if I was listening. And again, creative workflows are all about coming up with ideas by accident or otherwise. And we are going to use that as the starting note, even though it's not something I would have necessarily selected. The first thing to do if you're not using the note you meant to use, this is in improvisation or in composition, is to play it like you mean it. So make sure it lasts for a while. It's too long. Whoops. Can I undo that? Nope. Okay. Delete. Let's try that. It's okay. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I think we're going to run with it, and we're going to make this part last quite a bit longer before it repeats. Well, these parts are going to continue looping. And if you notice, I'm grabbing the upper right-hand corner of these items in our instrument lanes to loop them, and I'm grabbing the bottom right corner if I want to extend this piece without looping it in order to add more unique content. So the only big problems I'm having with this, aside from the notes not being quite something I'm happy with at this point, which is fine, we can change it later if we need, is that it's a bit loud and it's kind of dry sounding compared to everything else, which in this case means it doesn't have as much reverb. So let's go to our instrument and see if we can adjust that. We can usually do that with effects, and I'm going to choose room here, and I'll choose a big room. So church, this is what I picked for the other one. Let's see what this sounds like. It's much better. I still could use a little bit of something else, maybe a delay or a sort of a weird effect. Stereo chorus, that sounds nice. Maybe if I'm not really hearing much of it, but that's okay. We'll just live with it and turn it down a little bit more. And coming back to our piano roll, this is double click on items to go to that piano roll, by the way. We are going to extend this melody. Something like this might work. And at this point, we might be able to get away with just looping all of this for a bit longer and coming back to make other changes as they become necessary. I'd like to take a break here to listen to the whole track. And as I'm listening, I'm trying to make sure that I'm aware of mixing adjustments I want to make and making those here as I think of them. These drums, for example, still sound quite close, and I'm going to turn them down a tiny bit more. The strings are quite loud too. Bring them to the background. And that's where our loop happens. And I really like it up to that point. I think it's safe to let it go for another instance before making a change. And for our next change, I think it's going to look like a new part in our electric piano. We want something kind of similar to this item. So I think what we'll do is extend this out and go to Edit and Split Region here. And just make a modification of this item. And this in here is going to need to be zoomed in on to work with. And you'll find that you get almost more mileage out of changing your bass notes than you do out of changing your melody notes in a lot of situations. So we'll try that and probably need to adjust our melody notes just to account for any sour notes that come up. So I don't like most of that, but the idea is fine. Let's hear those. Something like that, maybe. Okay, that worked, thankfully. Let's use that as a transition to then come back to maybe these other ones. And to do that, we're going to zoom out, hold Alt, and notice that's not working because it's including too much stuff. Ooh, shoot. Control Z isn't working. Undo. Something like this might work. And let's hear that. It's a nice little transition. And I think what we're going to do is have that happen again over here. And maybe we'll expand on the idea this time. And treat it like an outro. I like that. So coming in with a new drum beat, perhaps. These make the new item at the beginning of the project for some reason, and I'm not sure why. But I think we're going to try for something a bit busier and just see how this feels along with this. A little strange, but I'll live with it for now. Same idea with the bass line here. I'm going to copy that and paste it in our attack bass, which needs to be, I guess we'll split this region and paste that. And another thing I want to do here is to zoom in and make these all twice as fast. So highlighting them all, dragging the edge of the notes like that, make sure they're still highlighted, holding Alt and clicking and dragging to the right to duplicate each one. And again, looping this item and doing something really exciting on the strings to try and save this horrid drum beat, which probably is going to end up being changed anyway. I don't think that I'll be able to live with this. Not a very good drum beat in my opinion. This string section, let's keep it going over here. You know what? Split the region. Let's see. Let's start with the same notes, see what they are. So that actually works, which is, again, one of the reasons why I urge young composers out there to just try stuff. You might not expect the same melody to be functional on a new accompaniment, and sometimes it just sounds better than you think it will. I don't think I'm going to keep it, even though it sounds fine, just because I want a little bit of a change, but I will keep pieces of it. So I want that first note to have a little bit more excitement, so we are going to change it early. Something like that, a little bit longer. And zooming out here so I can see where I am. Let's hear that. I don't like that note. I don't like any of that. I think I might have been imagining that happening at twice the speed. Maybe something fast. Let's hear that. Okay, I think that'll do. And maybe fade out on this item. Or just end on a chord. I actually like the idea of ending on that first chord again. So what we'll do is we'll split the region and edit this last one. Gotta zoom in. Oh, zoomed a little bit too close. Let's make sure we are zooming into just the last piece here. This item should be quite a bit shorter. And yeah, I like that a lot as an ending. Wonderful. Last order of business here before we call it done is to fix this horrible drum beat that I don't like. Edit that. Edit. I don't like the way that this happens. It just ends up on the piano roll. So whatever. We'll just figure it out. Zoom in. And it's these, I think. These notes, yeah. Let's get rid of those. Maybe just keep one for every bar. That's much better. Okay. And before I call it done, I think there's one more piece that I want to change, which is the tempo is still a bit fast for me. So we're going to choose the tempo and slow it down maybe to 85 and see if that feels good. Let's go ahead and a little bit more ominous in this way. The bass is a bit loud. This drum kit, almost wouldn't mind having a delay on it. It's a pretty gentle delay. Let's try to slap back instead. That's better. The string section is a bit bright sounding for my taste, so we are going to add a filter to it. Better. I actually think I want to add a filter to the bass as well. And coming back to this kit, it's got this weird presence to it, and I think what we're going to try doing is adding an equalizer to it to remove some of the mid-range. Mid-range is really good if you want the drums to sound powerful. In this case, I kind of want them to be a background texture. A little bit less bass again. And maybe a bit of panning between the strings and the Rhodes. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. And I think that we're going to call that finished. Let's name this Dark Ambient Song 1. And what we can do here is export as a WAV file and put it up on maybe we have to export as an MP3. Export as an MP3 file. I thought I saved it. Save it. Okay. And now at this point we'll export as an MP3 file. Okay. So my first impression is that BandLab is a better free option. A lot of the paid options in Soundtrap are really incredible. I know someone who has a paid account, and I've seen some pretty cool stuff in it. I think that they're locking us out of too much stuff here, though. This is owned by Spotify. They don't need your money. So my hot take is this is not as good of a free option, but it's probably a better option than BandLab if you have unlimited funding. The paid version of it is better than BandLab, but it's more expensive than I'd like to worry about. So I'll stick with a standard DAW. Let's see if this works yet. Export. Okay, not ready yet. We'll just do that off stream. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, so full of wonderful takes today. I'm pretty happy with the way the track turned out. It is fine. Soundtrap seems pretty powerful. Has a couple of quirks, just like BandLab and every other free piece of software I've used to make music. At the end of the day, the expensive pieces of software have quirks too. Any Pro Tools users that are watching this have had Pro Tools crash on them for no apparent reason, and I'd rather have a free program crash on me than a really expensive one. If you give this a shot, drop a link to your song in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I really preferred my experience with BandLab, so my take on free software is that BandLab is better than Soundtrap, but like I said, the paid experience in Soundtrap is almost definitely superior to the free experience in BandLab. So the question becomes, would you rather be working in a browser or on your computer? And that usually comes down to how good is your computer. So thanks for watching. If there are other free options that you'd like to see me try out, drop the suggestions in the comments. I've got a few more lined up that I want to try, and we'll see if I get to them all. Have a great day, and Happy New Year.